Hello, I'm Toycat, and I'm recording this video because lightning keeps striking, but it happens so quickly that I can't take a picture, and I think I would get a cool picture if I recorded this video, and so walk and talk time. That is Lake Erie. It's the big source of water for like the Las Vegas Valley, and the fact that it's going down so much, the fact that you can see so much of the land and the islands around here, is why water preservation is so important around here, which is why it looks like a desert instead of like grass, because we can make it look like grass and, you know, wonderful things, which is what humans do. We terraform our environments, but we've decided to do the opposite of that, besides over there apparently, because that is better for water usage, which is better for people who need to drink it and bathe in it and whatever else. So yeah, fun fact about I guess the Las Vegas Valley for you to start off this video. But this video is not about where I am right now. It's kind of about the exact opposite, because I want to talk some business with you. Because have you ever been on to a hotel or a restaurant, or like maybe even on an airline, and someone makes a really weird request of them, and you're like, yeah, that's not something they do, but then they come back and they're like, yeah, I guess, you know, it's not something, they won't even say it this way, but it's like, it's not something that we do, but I guess it's not such an unreasonable request that we won't do it for you. You know, if you ask at a hotel to borrow one of their chargers, or you know, like I've tried at multiple bars before to like ask to like charge my phone when it's been dead, and they're like, well, we don't really know how to do that, but I'll find a USB port. You know, it's not that crazy of a thing. Or on an airline, you can ask for painkillers. They don't give out painkillers to everyone, and it would be a little bit ridiculous if everyone asked, but if you ask for them, they'll give them to you. And the reason behind this is, in my opinion, one of our like basic human ideals, which is like trying to do good. We like to make these big rule structures where everything's expected and perfect, etc. But we also just want to do good outside of that. That's why you can kind of get special favorable treatment, and that's why, I don't know, lobbying and all these other things are so important to people, because we like to be good to people in general, if we can be, if that person isn't being too unreasonable to us. And so one of the things I want to apply this to is business, because right now I'm kind of making a big, potentially questionable decision. I have these free channels. This third one is still the fun channel where I just post whatever. Don't have to worry about what happens to it too much. I think I'm starting the series about like things I find interesting in finance. It's vaguely happening, but it's not like a big stress or anything. But yeah, during the course of the last few years, the second channel went from this goofy place where I could do basically this thing here, to being like actually quite focused on geography. It never really hit me until I realized how many other like Minecraft YouTubers who are like bigger deals than me at this point, were like, actually, yeah, that's so cool, that's something I've wanted to do. A couple of those geography guys even starting their own channels, and like it made me realize, and those channels then being very successful in their own right, that like this isn't just a goofy thing that I enjoyed and that like happens to be a channel. It's like actually a genre of YouTube. I don't want to say I invented it, because I doubt that's true, but like that seems to have a lot of overlap with the audience of people who play games, or at least it's something that has been more commonly known as like a thing people care about. Because when I was in school, geography was always cool. Like, yeah, I love all the countries and whatever else. Like, there's the ways of defining the world around us. Anyway, the reason I'm talking about it is not, I'm trying not to toot my own horn here. Sorry if that's what this comes across as. I feel like being frank about anything in this, you know, in the world of, you know, like entertainment is going to seem like that. Like, yes, well, you see, on the main channel, I have 1.7 million people who subscribed. I mean, that doesn't really mean anything. That means 1.7 million people at some point have clicked the button that says subscribe, whereas it's like about 1/10 as many on the second channel. And so yeah, as far as like attention goes, you should expect the attention ratio to be like 10-1, and I think that's actually about right, maybe even more skewed towards the main channel. But something I've realized recently, like over the last couple of months or so, the videos are doing especially well, especially current events like Afghanistan, Russia war, Queen's death. They're doing like really especially well. And also what's doing well, man, look at the size of these ants. Can you even see them actually? They are huge ants. Like, I want to put my foot there maybe. Can you? Okay, let me find the ant in my reel. Okay. Can you see my foot? Can you see the ant? They're big ants. You're gonna have to trust me. Compared to what I'm used to, they are big ants. Anyway, so the thing I've seen is like the growth of like shorts, especially. There are like multiple shorts on that channel that have 1 million views, and 1 million views is worth nothing from a dollars and cents point of view. It is I think I made $6 from one of those million view videos. I think I made like 13 from another. I made 0 from one of them because it didn't monetize. I didn't realize shorts could monetize or not monetize, but it wouldn't even let me monetize it. There was no option until after that point. So basically, like, yeah, I across the millions of views that these shorts have reached, even though that's like a huge audience, it's made change, you know? Like, it made less than I've expended in like electricity or food today. You know, if I've spent more than that on food, maybe that's concerning actually. But it's probably true. Despite these videos being hugely successful, YouTube Shorts are not a successful medium for monetization. They're a successful medium for getting a ton of views because YouTube's trying to compete with TikTok. Indeed, if I post the same things on TikTok, maybe I should get into that actually. If I posted the same things on TikTok, I'm sure we'd see the same kind of thing with like, yeah, lots and lots of people will see these things. And yeah, there's an interesting like use of time where if I spend the exact same amount of time on the main channel, instead of making $6 or $13 or no dollars, I might make 10 times that or 20 times that for the same amount of work. If I have a runaway success video that got 1 million views, it would be worth genuinely in the thousands as opposed to in the singles. So we're talking like a 1000x the revenue, and I think the realistic comparison is like an average video might do 50 times better in revenue on the main channel versus the second channel. The same number of views, like this is literally happening now. The two channels are very close to getting the same number of views, but the amount of money made difference is huge. And so every business, you know, like if you're level 1 of business, in my opinion, is saying, do the thing that makes the money. Maybe even level 2 as well. It's like, try and don't do the things that cost you lots of money. Do the things that make money, that make sense for your time. And as far as time put into whatever out, doing a live stream and making a couple $100 is a better use of it now than making a video that'll make me maybe $6 if it goes viral. However, here's the weird difference. The level up above that, the harder thing to quantify, is that just like in those airlines and those hotels, which are always doing the right thing, even like always doing nice things, even though it doesn't seem like it makes business sense. Like, well, you could just turn down someone's request for a painkiller, and now you've saved yourself like, you know, 16 pence or whatever a painkiller costs in your region, and you've saved yourself some time, and you've stopped them setting the expectation that like they get painkillers just for showing up on a flight or a hotel or a restaurant. You know, maybe if you ask a restaurant to customize things weirdly, like I felt like I went into a McDonald's once, and I asked for like all the McFlurry combinations. The person was like, I don't think we know how to do that. And I was like, well, what if you just added one McFlurry topping and then just added all the others? And they're like, I mean, I guess we could do that, you know, like having some fun with it, right? Like do the fun thing in that option. There's like there's the lake again. I like this. It looks like kind of like a background. It's super nice, the sky visuals there. But yeah, there's this like kind of business attitude of like doing the right thing is often very profitable. A lot of places start with the attitude, like a lot of people miss the whole business thing of like, we should do things that earn us money and we should do things that don't cost us too much money, and jump straight to the businesses doing things right and can still be actually genuinely successful. But the interesting thing here is like, I wouldn't say it's necessarily right, but I would say that if 1 million people enjoy something, and assuming they enjoy it at least some amount, enough to maybe want to subscribe or whatever else, that's better than 1,000 people watching a live stream or a video, because it's 1,000 times more people. Even if it's 10 times less impact per person or 20 times less impact per person, you're making a much bigger dent on a much larger number of people. And so when it comes to the entertainment world, this is like a struggle for me as someone who's like very focused on, I mentioned before, I'm money motivated. Money is my love language, all these other things. Like when you grow up without something, you care about it more. This is a tangent, I'm sorry. You know what? I'm not apologizing for my tangents. There's this interesting thing in ethnic minority communities in London, where if you're from a wealthy or middle class, or even, you know, like a lowerish class background, but from somewhere where cars are the norm, you're like, yeah, having a car in London is a fool's game. Like parking that thing and driving, you know, like it's such a nightmare to deal with all these charges and driving in London. So not driving is the cool thing to do. You get one of those bikes and you put your children in a little carriage in the back. But if you're from a if you're from like a migrant community, from a country where car ownership is super rare, then living in not, like you might you might choose to live in a worse area and choose to spend less on your day to day, so you can have this ultimate status symbol of a car. Like, yeah, I have a 2004 insert luxury car here. Yeah, I made it in life. Whereas, to a lot of people, if you gave them a 2004 luxury car, you're like, well, shit, where am I parking that? And I've got to fuel it up. And I've got to move it every X day, Y day, and like, oh. And then if I do drive it places, then I'm going to be liable for the maintenance bill, and maintenance bills on luxury cars are generally higher than the maintenance bills on, regular cars, because there's fewer of them and they make their money that way in some part. It's like, man, that sucks. And that's a difference of attitude, right? It's a difference of whether you had something and how you saw it growing up. And so, growing up without as much money, like, it's always the core focus of what I do. In a lot of places, a lot of the YouTubers that I was friends with 10 years ago, as we all entered into this world, were like, wait, you can make money playing games? Like, they made a bit of money. I got a good friend of mine. He was maybe a few years older than me. He's probably in his early 30s now. He went absolutely wild, bought some expensive cameras, was always going on trips, kind of neglected the channel because he was making $3,000-$4,000 a month. And now he's gone because to him that was a wild windfall that he's moved past. Whereas to me it was like, how do I make sure that I keep this going? How do I find the interest in people to somehow watch this channel all these years later? I don't know how it still happens, if I'm being honest. I always feel like I'm 6 months away from the end of the YouTube saga. Maybe that's why things keep going. When you're worried about losing something, you'll do a better job at keeping it. Maybe. Don't know if that's true. But yeah, basically, I'm at this point now where I've at least built some amount of comfort into my life where, like, okay, I'm not immediately over in life. Should I, should something happen? And so I basically have come to this conclusion. Man, that looks fun. Hi. I basically, man, riding up the hill would suck so bad, but riding down it, guys having a good time. Oh, there's meant to be sheep around here somewhere too, by the way. Bighorn sheep. It's a desert, so I think that's like the only natural wildlife. There's no ducks, no geese, just horns. We'll see those later maybe. But yeah, I've reached that point now where, like, I've basically reached the point where, like, okay, I have some amount of, like, okay, I can probably pay the mortgage for a few months, if not, and then, like, while I work out, while I'm, like, I've gone to that little stability, right? And so one of the things that allows me to do is follow the entertainment rule, which is not to follow money, because, the most lucrative thing you can do if you're an A-list actor is, like, do an ad for a really terrible brand, like a crypto brand or no offense to crypto brands, like I think there's a ton of good ones, but you're kind of taking a whole audience, you're giving your trust to something which needs to have all the caveats of, like, this is a potentially dangerous investment, etc. You go with an airline or like a company, like a Chinese milk company. I think some of the royals do that. Once you're at this point where, at a certain point, the money is always going to seem like, I think for most people, the thing that makes the money is the thing that's smart to do. But in entertainment, the reason that you are worth X amount of money for doing sponsorships or endorsements or showing up events or birthday parties or whatever else is because you are known by so many people. Here's a weird example. I would like, I'm going to pick a celebrity I really don't actually know anything about. Angelina Jolie. I know she was married to someone else that was important. I want to say she imports children from Africa. I don't know. Am I wrong about that? Am I right about that? Hope I'm not getting her mixed up with someone. But like, I have no idea what she looks like. But if you're like, oh yeah, she's coming to your party, I'm like, that's interesting. I know she is known by people. And so that's the thing. And so in entertainment, sometimes making these decisions But like, people on the internet make jokes about exposure, like, can't pay my bills on exposure. And it's like, well, actually, you can pay your future bills at exposure today. If, like, the smart thing to do is to have as many people learn your name so that they might one day be someone who watches a video ad or a sponsored integration, or in your dreams, maybe they're subscribed, they become a fan of some form. But people can't become fans if they aren't exposed to your stuff. And so even though this is the weird death spiral a lot of YouTubers get into when they go into the streaming game, they're like, I will keep my 500 viewers, my 200 viewers, my one, even if it's several thousand viewers, I'll keep that exact number, and that like just about sustains a career forever, you might think. But in reality, because of like turnover, and also if you want to keep growing, you need new people to find your stuff. And so, even though it is very counterintuitive, I think I'm at this point where I have to say, making $6 is a better use of my time than making maybe a couple hundred. Maybe having the chance of making thousands of dollars, I'm gonna have to forego for the reliable return of $6, because if 1 million people are exposed to me, even if it's in something really dumb like me talking about the busiest the countries that border the most countries, or whatever a dumb thing it is, like having people who see me via one of these things, 1 million of them, means that maybe 10,000 are slightly more likely to click the next video. Maybe 1,000 even subscribe. I think on one of the million view shorts there was like 900 new subscribers. 900 subscribers is nuts when you think about it. Direct subscribers, so like probably some number more people might see another video subscribe then. If I made 1,000 of those shorts, that's 1 million subscribers. And 1 million subscribers in, whatever time it takes me to make 1,000 shorts is no big deal. Well, actually, I guess 1,000, if I did one a day, it'd take 3 years, I guess. So, 500,000 subscribers in a year and a half, that's really good. That's ignoring the fact that you probably have a network effect from each of those shorts leading to other shorts, leading to other videos, all the indirect subscribers. It probably works out like more like 1 to 2, but like a year and a half of just make a short every day, if it's good enough and it meets all these algorithmic requirements, I think that's the smart money move. I think this is the point that's always hard to say, but exposure actually might be the smart bet to make there. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I still am working on the main channel. There's still some really cool stuff I'm really excited about, genuinely. But I'm where maybe I might be focusing on some big 10-hour monstrosity, like whole week long video. Maybe I make 20 shorts instead. Maybe 20,000 subscribers and 20 million people being exposed to my dumb face. By the way, of those 20 million people, like 95% will just, it'll be gone the moment they've moved on to the next short. They've forgotten about the thing they've just watched. Like another 2 or 3% are gonna despise me. Like, man, why do you talk that way? Why does your hair look that way? Why does your face look that way? It's like point something percent, like less than 1% of people who go, oh, this is cool. I wonder what this guy's doing. But on the internet, it's like in real life, having a ratio that bad would be terrible. In real life, if you're making friends with someone, you need to say to yourself, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I'm going to try and be the best person I can be. I want most people who meet me to say, that's really nice, and that was cool that I met that person. But, because, you don't meet many people of your life, like hundreds of friends, thousands of friends, I don't know how many you'd expect to meet. But on the internet, it's like a numbers game. That's why the revolution in online dating, like from real life to Tinder, is from going from being like, oh yeah, just be a generally inoffensive person, to like say some wild stuff, so that and then swipe right 1 trillion times, whatever the meta is on Tinder. It changes things, because on the internet you're not exposed to a small community or the people you happen to have conversations with. You're exposed to potentially millions if they can just find you. And so yeah, I'll see how this goes in like a year from now. I think it could be one of the worst decisions I make. But life is filled with poor decisions. This is just one of them. And I just wanted to mention that it's so hard for me to make things like this, but I always am reminded that in the business sense, it always makes sense to do the right thing at some point. Like, doing the right thing is a good business decision. Some people think it's like a trade-off, like And with super large mega corporations, maybe it genuinely gets to that point. Like McDonald's can treat their animals 1% better, or they can make 1% more profits this year. Which are they going to do, or whatever the thing may be? But you know, like if you're thinking about like basically any business, if it's like, well, I've got two options. I can cost myself a bit more money. I can lose a bit of money on this person by giving them, you know, like free ice cream flavors instead of one, free refills on their drink instead of. I guess this is America. Everyone has free refills here. But in the UK, I'm genuinely always thankful when a business owner is like, yeah, just have free refills. It's like it's happened a couple of times. Makes me think a lot higher. It was a Subway, in case you're curious, a local franchisee. Now I like that Subway better than the other Subways where I live. It was a like on their level they lost a tiny bit of money. Like, what does syrup actually cost? But from my level, I'm like, man, I like this place more. And in that way, there's this counterintuitive fact that in business, sometimes making the right decision on a human level is the right decision on a business level. And so on a human level, on a business level, it's like saying, yeah, I should do the thing optimizing revenue per hour, whatever. But I think I'm going to try find a ton of people who care about this same weird world of niche geography facts that I do. Going to try and reach as many as I can of these super short form videos, and then hopefully in between those, maybe they choose to watch the regular form videos. I've got a lot of ideas for that. I want to talk about the world's smallest countries, like why they even exist, you know, like I think I do have to get more inflammatory with the titles to, you know, inspire the same reaction. But yeah, the second channel has become a weird accidental focus of mine recently, and I figured you might all enjoy that that's true. You know what else you might enjoy? The fact that this has been a third channel video. Just a reminder, doing the right thing can often benefit you in the long run. Maybe you should give it a try. Or don't, I'm not your dad. Also, you know what? There was like, that literally it was happening like every 5 minutes. I recorded a whole 22-minute video trying to get lightning to strike, and it didn't. And that sucks. You know what they say, lightning never strikes twice. Except all the times it does. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this thing. Do you want to be under power lines when there's lightning striking? Is that like extra safe or is that extra dangerous? Can someone let me know in the comments. If I upload this video, you can assume I didn't die. If I didn't upload this video, assume I'm dead. Sounds good? Oh, this guy's got to go uphill. Sounds painful. Anyway, yeah, thank you for watching. Third channel, don't care.